Hey guys, welcome to my shortest video ever. I've got a couple of bonus techniques for the levator scapula in the side lying position, so let's get to it. I'm starting off by supporting the anterior scapula with my left hand, and I'm just doing a pin and stretch. So this is really easy to do in the side lying position because the shoulder has so much movement here. I'm pinning down that superior angle, and as I do that, really stretching the insertion of the scapula away from the origin and giving the neck some really nice space. Once I've done that, I want to stretch it out and make sure all of those myofascial connections are released and breathing. So I'm using my left hand here to traction down that shoulder and then sliding up the neck, focusing on the layers of connective tissue that wrap around the levator scapula and connect onto the surrounding muscles and allowing them to slide a little more freely. I'm going to add really quickly that I know side lying can be difficult on our own body mechanics, so if you have your client slide back towards the table really close to you, it's a lot easier on your body. This next technique I've used a bunch of times with clients who suffer from frequent tension headaches or even migraines and have possibly at some point had whiplash in their life. This is a great softening technique, which I think allows the muscle itself to kind of go, it's okay to get worked on and it's okay to sink deep here, whereas stretching the muscle out and then sinking in tends to make the client want to fight back. So all I'm doing here is shifting the shoulder up towards the ear, softening the levator scapula, and then using my right thumb to do a very gradual and gentle yet deep friction along each of the transverse processes that serves as an attachment site for the levator scapula. Obviously, I'm not just affecting the levator scapula here, and as much as I want to focus on this muscle because it might be the culprit, I always want to think globally. I always want to think about all the intricate muscles that hold up the head and move the neck and can be responsible for holding so much tension and stress. This next technique is a little more aggressive, so if you have a client that actually responds well to this work and you feel like you can sink in a little bit deeper, I'm grabbing the entirety of the scapula here. And as I'm moving the scapula around and starting to release it, I want to communicate to my client this very specific point. The scapula gets pulled up by the levator scapula, and that may be where our client is feeling tension, but that creates what I call a tug of war on the scapula. So all the muscles that are going to try to pull the scapula in towards the spine or down towards the hip are fighting that pull. And so they're also getting tense, and I want to make sure that all of that is relieved and that fight over that moving bone starts to fade. The last technique that I'm going to show you from the side lying position, I'm now situated standing in front of my client and I'm sinking in with my fingertips just lateral to the cervical spine. My whole thought here is to sink in on the posterior transverse process and then roll over all the way lateral and anterior so that I'm affecting all of those attachments. Once I've done that, I'm going to slide down to the scapula itself and kind of do the same technique over the superior angle. So this way I'm hitting the origin and then I'm hitting the insertion, sliding from posterior to anterior, and then kind of moving throughout the belly of the muscle, creating a nice friction and allowing this muscle to loosen up and feel like the head and the neck are actually separating. Quickest video ever, right? Right. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for supporting. Any questions, any comments, any concerns, please feel free to contact me. Please feel free to reach out on social media. Please feel free to leave a comment below. I love the comments. I think comments start conversation, which is fantastic. And last but not least, please feel free to keep being awesome body workers.